In today's society and digital world where everyone is chasing just one goal, it kind of feels like nothing is unique anymore. I don't know if I'm the only one, but everyone seems to have the same yearly goals, future goals, 5 years plan, 10 years plan, which is quite crazy when you think about it, considering that we're strangers to each other. We live completely different lives, but for some reason, somehow, we always aim for the exact same things. That's what I call madness. Everyone looks alike. Actually, we strive and hustle down to look the exact same way, which is crazy. I've said crazy so many times in this video already, and please just get used to me saying crazy because a lot of the things that I'm going to speak about in this video are crazy. So we all strive to look the same, act the same, have the same priorities, the same goals, the same standards, the same boundaries, the same every single thing. Relationships, friendship, we all want to be like the next person that we think is doing better than us. We want what others want. We want what society wants. In today's video, I want to talk about what truly matters in your 20s. And this is coming from someone that is in her 30s, right? Her early 30s. Let me tell you, I have seen so many things in my life. I have seen so many things in the past couple of weeks, in the past couple of months, in the past couple of years that just blows my mind. It blows my mind in a way where it's just like, do you really understand what your 20s are for? Do you understand what you should be doing in your 20s? Do you understand what 20s truly mean? What truly matters in that era and in that time of your life? I know how I spent my 20s. If you ask me if I would change anything in my 20s, I probably would change my early 20s a little bit, but nothing from my mid to my late 20s. And I really want to talk about what I would recommend that you focus on, what should be priority to you in your 20s. According to how I've lived my life, the experience that I have in my 31 years of living on earth, these are things that I would recommend that you break sweat on, and not necessarily what you're being told in this our modern world of 2025, where you're told to chase certain things. I want to debunk so many things in this video, so let's just jump right into that. But before we do, actually, if you're new on this channel, hi girl, my name is Lucy. I make self-development, self-improvement, lifestyle, a sprinkle of vlogs here and there, so you see behind the scenes of my life. I highly recommend that you subscribe. I say on this channel that we have a good time. We actually do have a good time, so that's the reason why I say that all the time. Please subscribe, stay, you will also have a good time. I make videos on TikTok and Instagram. I'm going to also have those linked below. Follow me on there as well. It's gonna be a good time. I can guarantee that, okay? Now, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Now, in this video, I'm not going to give you fluff. So let's jump into the first thing that I think you should prioritize as what truly matters in your 20s, if you're in your 20s watching me right now. Now, the first thing I'm going to recommend is building self-awareness. I know how my early 20s were. I know how majority of my 20s were. And I'll be honest with you, this is not even something that came to mind. And it's because of a couple of reasons. One, my background, so meaning how I grew up. Two, who I surrounded myself or did not surround myself around, being in my early 20s and my mid 20s, and just my environment, right? Because of those factors, I didn't really think about self-development and self-growth. So knowing who I am, who I want to be, what makes me tick, and just everything about me, my uniqueness, my smile, all of that did not really come into play. And I'll be honest, do I wish that I had that? Absolutely. I started doing the work on myself when it comes to self-improvements and really knowing myself starting from age 26. I started doing the work, and I think it was even light work. It wasn't necessarily obviously deep dive into it because it takes a while when it comes to self-improvement and self-awareness. You need to really get to a point where you are dedicated to really go on this journey. That's when it will start to work for you. So do I wish that I started earlier? Yes. Am I grateful for when I started? Yes. It doesn't matter where you start, when you start. You might be in your early 20s watching me, or your late 20s watching me. You might be 29 watching me, or even in your early 30s. Start. Build self-awareness. I cannot recommend this enough. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you don't know yourself, you cannot know anybody, you cannot know anything, you cannot do anything. People really underestimate the power of self-awareness. And I will tell you this, self-awareness doesn't mean that you're not going to make mistakes. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be wrong. It doesn't mean that that you don't stand to be corrected. It doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. It just means that you know yourself so well. You know your triggers, you know what makes you tick, you know your body, you know your features, you know your face, you know everything about you. You know how you're built and you're created. You know how your mind works. So you can typically tell what your reaction will be in certain situations. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect because we're not built or created to be perfect, but you're going to know so much about you. What you should prioritize in your 20s. I will tell my younger self this: prioritize getting to know who you are, because that's what your 20s are for. You should know who you are, what you want, what you like, how you are, what you truly want to do, what your passion is. Not necessarily achieving the final goal on that, but just starting to know what those things truly mean for you as a person. And one of the major things or major aspect of knowing yourself or self-awareness is trying to draw the line between what you want, who you are, and what society expects from you, what other people expect from you, family, friends, just anybody. This is when you begin to draw that line. Look, this is what I want. This is what people want from me. And am I doing what I truly want? Is this decision and the lifestyle I'm living, right? Is it aligned with who I am? Or is it just what my parents want from me, or my friends want from me, or what society have conditioned me to believe is what I am or who I am? This is when you start to build those type of thoughts. This is what truly matters. And if this video can touch you at the very moment where you actually need it, that's the aim. Number 2, prioritizing your relationship with God. I am a Jesus baby, and I will not be shy to keep saying that anywhere and everywhere. I have always been a Jesus baby. I grew up in a Christian household, so I've always been a child of God, a daughter of Zion. When it comes to really understanding my personal relationship and walk with God, I actually do wish that I started building that relationship earlier on than when I actually started. You cannot do life without God. That's what I strongly believe in. My life is a testimony. My journey is, oh my God, built with grace, mercy, and just abundant guidance and favor. And if not for God, I don't know where I would have been. You need to develop your spiritual grounding. You need to understand your relationship. Start creating that relationship. You might not fully understand it, let me be honest. You need to start creating and building that relationship and developing it with God. A personal walk with God. That's what you should be focusing on right now. Forget about every other thing that is your priority in your 20s, your spiritual life. What would you like it to look like? And let me tell you one thing that I will tell anybody today, tomorrow, next week, next year. Your walk with God is unique. It is personal. It is different from the next person. I don't care who that person is. Could be your mother, could be your sister, could be your father, it could be your husband, it could be your boyfriend. Your walk with Christ is personal, and you need to define that. You need to define what you want it to look like, and however it works for you, that is all that matters. However you want to build that relationship in whatever capacity that you have, it's between you and God, and we don't need to know. No one else needs to know. Another aspect of building a relationship with God is trusting your timing. Trusting divine timing over rushing success. And in your 20s, especially in our world, our modern world of 2025, digital madness, social media craziness, and delusional, you need to trust in divine timing. Rushing success in your 20s, I know that's what you see on social media. That's what everyone puts in your face, like success, money, wealth. You need to trust in your timing, your journey, and the only way you can gain clarity and peace in uncertainty is if you trust God. You have that relationship with God. Third thing, focus on building financial discipline. Instead of thinking about how to be a billionaire in 30 days or how to be a millionaire in 2 days, I want you to start thinking about savings, investment, learning to live within your means while building multiple streams of income. That should be your focus. That should be your priority in your 20s, and not being the world's richest 21-year-old or 23-year-old or 25-year-old or even 30-year-old. That should not be your focus. Learning what financial literacy means, learning financial linguas and knowledge and investing, that's what you should be doing. Beginning that journey of financial freedom. Learning how to invest, what possible investments are out there for you based on your capacity or what you have interest in, budgeting, learning and picking those basic courses. It doesn't have to be a course. You can watch videos like relaxed chill videos on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok about financial literacy, learning what truly can work for you when it comes to building your wealth. That's what you should be focusing on in your 20s, and not how to make money quick, get rich quick schemes, selling one thing to flip into 1 billion things. That should not be your focus, and that's one of the quickest ways to miss your journey, to miss your path in your 20s, when you're focusing on the wrong financial path that you should take in your 20s. What you should be doing right now is learning money, having that knowledge, not trying to be the wealthiest person alive when you're only just 26. Fourth thing, choosing the right relationships. I wasn't actually going to talk about relationships when it comes to what to focus on in your 20s earlier in this video, but it's important because relationships do not just cover romantic relationships, but also just friendships, which is very, very important when you're in your 20s. I had a whole different experience when it comes to friendship. I have said this thing multiple times. I wasn't necessarily a friendship type of person or a people type of person in my early 20s, in my mid 20s. Somehow in my late 20s, I started getting, accustomed to the whole relationship, community, friendship type thing. What I will tell you is, in your 20s, you need a community, but not just any kind of community. You need a community that inspires, challenges, very important, and supports your growth, because in your 20s you are learning. Actually, every aspect or every time in your life you're learning, but you actually need people who support that growth, who understand the journey, who are aligned, have the same values and beliefs. You don't necessarily have to be the exact same person and like the same things, but people who actually have core beliefs same as yours. That's the kind of people that you need to create relationships with, whether it's romantic or platonic friendship. Your community needs to make sense, and that's what you need to be focusing on. You're not dealing with people because of aesthetics. You need the right relationships, because your 20s are actually really crucial. Your 20s set you up really nicely for your 30s if you're doing things the right way. No pressure at all, may I add, but you just need to have the right focus, a little bit of focus and discipline to make sure that you're setting yourself nicely for the rest of your life, because you could easily flop it all in your 20s. You need the right set of people around you to inspire you, to support you, but very important, to challenge you, because you don't want people that will just be yes men around you. Like, okay, you want to do this, fine. They don't really care about you enough. If you want to jump into it, like, go and jump. That's not the kind of people you need around you. You need people that can challenge your choices and opinions sometimes, especially when you're making the wrong decisions. Number 5, learning to be alone without feeling lonely. I can die on this hill. I can talk about this as the only topic I talk about on this channel for the rest of my life, because I've seen so many situations, so many people go down the drain that could live very, very beautiful lives because they don't know how to be alone. They don't enjoy their own company. And I know I sound like a broken record right now, or a bleating goat, but honestly, learning to be alone without actually feeling lonely is a gift we all have within us, but we just need to intentionally activate it. That's it. If you can learn to be alone, enjoy your own company, cultivate independence and contentment in solitude, let me tell you, you will have the healthiest self-worth and self-esteem ever seen. That's one of the quickest ways to build good self-esteem, healthy self-esteem, being content in your own company and your own presence. Solitude, learning solitude has saved so many people from disrespect, unnecessary situations and drama, death. Yes, losing your life, because you just know how to take yourself and quietly go home, enjoy your time without actually being where you're not supposed to be, where you're not invited. Self-respect at the top when you learn solitude, learn to enjoy your own company, and you can start to do that in your 20s if you can intentionally go on that journey. And healthy solitude, because it's also unhealthy solitude, which is something that I've learned and I'm going to talk about in another video. But healthy solitude, oh my god, is the goal. I wish that on everybody. You have no idea. Learning to sit with your own silence and just breathe will save you so much in life. You have no idea. Number 6, taking care of your body. I know in your 20s, or especially your early 20s, you are outside. For the most part, you're enjoying life. You're doing so much. You're partying. You're having the best time of your life. And I love that for you. But what you should always have at the back of your mind is you have only one life to live. This is just the one body you're given, the one chance you're given. You don't want to live a life that when you grow older, especially in your 30s and beyond, regret not taking care of the body that you're given. Your body will tell if you had properly loved it well at a certain age. You want to come back into your 30s and look at yourself and be like, okay, I did a good job at taking care of this body that I was blessed with. Yes, I lived life, but I took care of myself. Do you get what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, I look at myself and I say the same. I'm like, oh yeah, I look good for a 31-year-old girl that I suffered on earth. God has been so good to me. You want to take care of yourself. And what does that look like? Eating right. Eating nourishing food. Nobody's telling you to not have fun. No one is saying you shouldn't drink and party. Just make sure that you're doing the right things to actually detox and clean out your skin, clean out your body, flush out things, go for regular medical checkups. Make sure that you're good. You will have fun as much as you want. Do what you like. I'm definitely pro living your best life, right? I will never stop anybody from having a good time. Just make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Having good food, nourishing food, you're resting. You're also having healthy movements like walking, stretching, exercising, Pilates, whatever that you can do in the capacity that you can do and can afford. By all means, do it. If there's one thing I want you to take out of this point is your health is your foundation for everything else. If you don't have health, forget about everything else. And that should be at the back of your mind as you enjoy and you live life. Now, that's pretty much everything that I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will be so thrilled to hear whatever you have to say concerning this topic. I'm also going to make a part 2 of this video because I have so much to say and I don't want to make the video too long. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Follow me on my social, Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to have them linked below. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Listening in your car, at your job, you at home, I don't care where you at. Turn this up right now, cause we're about to go in. Hey, so everybody say